Hi, this is Sarah Pollock with Wildside Media, and today I'm so excited. We have Julia Masli in the studio, star and creator of Ha 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 Ha. There are 7 ha's at Woolly Mammoth Theater Company. Hi, how are you?
Hi, so good to see you.
Great to be here with you. So I want to start off, if you could briefly just tell me who you are, what you do, and what this show is about in your own words.
I am a clown from Estonia, but based in London. I made a show called Ha 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 Ha. It's a serious show about solving problems so that the world becomes problem-free, but it's people keep laughing, and it got really, I don't know, like people are like, this is a comedy show, and I'm like, it's a serious show.
Yeah, you're very serious about solving people's problems.
Thank you. That means a lot. You recognize that.
Yeah, of course. So I saw this show and I was really blown away because it was unlike anything that I've experienced in theater. Really, truly, in a building, because Julia is so good at being present. For the viewers, this isn't a scripted piece. No, it's an open format, and you have the audience tell you what's wrong with them. What's wrong with them? What problems they have.
I love that.
But you are such a good reminder of theater is just play, and anything is kind of allowed, right? Like, yeah, you can walk on the audience chair. I'm not trying to spoil too much, but we were getting crazy in the building, and just distilling it down to joy and fun and presence is something I think a lot of people forget. As audience members, I think we're so bogged down by like what we expect entertainment to be provided to us as, and even as actors too, like in drama school or just being hired professionally as a vessel for someone else. You're like, everything's presented to you as there's no right answer, but you can get called out on doing the wrong one. So anytime that you have something that happens in your show, even if it isn't the perfectly fitting puzzle piece of where you want the situation to go, you do such a great job of being fearless and being like, okay, yeah, let's make something out of it and play. And it's fun. And I think anyone can benefit from watching that, even if there's no story.
Thank you. I think like I just get really excited by people in the room. Like I come out and when I see people, I just want to play with them and make it about them. So I think it's just the way that maybe I am as a performer, although one day I'd love to try something where I'm like, it would be a good challenge for me to be like, fourth wall, don't go out there, one day. But I'm just obsessed by people. Like they're so fun and different and unique, and I love and whatever happens in the show, you're right, it's kind of like it just becomes the show, and it's perfect. Like if someone's phone goes off, it's perfect because maybe it's an important phone call and we need to all be there for it. Or if something falls, it's to remind us of something, so everything becomes meaningful, whatever happens.
Yeah, you make a meaning out of it.
I love that together.
Yeah. Can I ask you what surprises you the most about how audiences receive this piece? What are you most surprised by in how they either respond to you or...
I'm surprised that they find it funny because it's really serious for me.
Okay, yeah.
I care for them and I want to make it better.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they're constantly laughing.
Interested to know about the evolution of the show because I know it started in the Edinburgh Fringe and you did it in comedy clubs and smaller venues. And I'm sure it was a lot different of a product than what we see now.
Yeah.
So I would love to know what were sort of the installments that were major changes to the show that made it kind of in the place where it is now. Like what ingredients helped you solidify that I'm always going to know that this prop is what I'm going to use? Like, how did you land on certain tactics to help make the show what it is?
To be honest, the more I do it, the more I realize it's actually just like I need to be as present as possible, because sometimes my tactics is a cop-out. Like, if I go for a thing that, oh, I know this is perfect for this, sometimes it's like too quick, like, because I know maybe I've had a similar problem in the past and I can just like, I've prepared something for it. But sometimes if I'm there with that person, I can find something else and maybe ask them more questions and they will open up deeper, and then actually something much better will emerge, something much more real, instead of my like prepared trick. So I'm currently like working on like, don't always go for the easy route, because often when I don't take that easy route, that's when something much more magical can happen. And not about maybe like, oh, this is a great trick, but like connect other people maybe, and someone else will open up because we went deeper about, you know, someone mentioned their father has dementia, and then we talked about their father and the memories they had, and then in that show, like, someone else wanted them to share something a lot more deeper than just saying one short thing, like, and then I'm realizing that that's actually where it's better. So I think it's a constant, like, sometimes like, oh, I need this big like object on stage and it's gonna make it all better, but then I'm like, wait, sure, it's fun because now I'm in a bigger space, but actually the core of it is still like the simplicity of just like be with the people, you know?
Right. Yeah. And for such an open format, like you don't know what's gonna happen every time.
It's a total like tightrope, and it's terrifying. Like, I can't really relax, or I can't feel like I know the show, because it's just, that's when it gets not so good.
But with that in place, for being such an open format show, you have pretty specific design choices. I would love to talk about like how you landed on the costume you wear. You have sort of this Victorian-esque dress going on, and like a helmet.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a steampunk vibe. It's like very weird. And you also have a leg that you ask like on your arm. So how did that come about? Are those intentional? Did you just try it one day and you were like, I like how this feels? Or, and even also your music and sound choice, how did you land on what costumes you do and what sounds you do?
So I've worked with some incredible people. Alice Wedge is a designer who designed the costume, and then Annika Thiems actually made it. And we were looking at, we wanted to distort the shape of my body, but then I was like, distort the shape of my body. And because she's very, you know, she works in, she really cares about elegance, so she was like, you still need to like, we need to distort it, but we still need to make it look like kind of, I don't know, she found this balance of making it distorted, but then it's still kind of like quite, I guess, beautiful as well. And then we found this fabric that we were really excited about, and the blue color, we thought it's blue because it's a show about, you know, problems. It's our sadness. Like, the blue is the color of our tears. I don't know. You know? And then David Curtis Ring is the person who made the headpiece, and we were like, how would she make it? Like, and he kind of imagined like, how would her spirit make it? So it's like she uses tape, and there's like wires, and it's very like, in the show I use a lot of tape. It's all very it's quite like DIY.
Yeah.
But then it's complicated because he's incredible. designer, and yeah, and then the sound, Alessio Festuccia, he's incredible sound designer. We were looking at, I was just sending him a lot of references of like things that I really loved with my co-director, Kim Noble, who's an amazing performance artist. We were sending, references of sound that we like. We wanted to maybe take people somewhere to a world, create a world that was a little bit outside of, like, something a bit like you're a bit dreaming, help to go to this place lucid.
Yeah, it's kind of a cerebral concept because it's like you're here, you're real, it's all happening. You're kind of a character, or are you? That kind of leads me into my next question. How are you, Julia Masli, IRL, in real life, different from your character on stage, or is it a character? Are you simply having fun? How do you separate yourself?
I think actually, like, I find it really hard to be Julia in life. Like, yeah. I find it weird. I think partly where it came from, like how I am on stage, is I feel freer being that way in a weird way. I find it, I struggle just like existing in normal life, because I'm like, to go to a party, what do you do? Oh, I'm a clown. People are like, ooh, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah. It's like, but on stage, I feel it doesn't matter, everyone except, like, I'm weird, but it's fine because this is a weird, absurd show, and nothing needs to make logical sense.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it too. The audience just kind of has to accept it. And you're not giving it all to them, explaining anything. They just have to get on board with you. And I think it just automatically makes everyone a little more interested and captivated by what you're doing on stage.
Yeah, it's less, I guess, cerebral, more feeling, right? Yeah. Together.
And so, rewinding, just for you as a person, you're from Estonia, moved to UK. At 12.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you knew you wanted to be a performer? Like anything about your upbringing or background, you were like, I want to do this. Like, how did you land on maybe clown specifically too?
I always wanted to do really dramatic, like, tragedy, like be really, like, go and do classical theater or something.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really a way for me to do that. I had a really strong accent, and like it was at the time when I was trying to get into like drama schools, you had to speak really well. Like you had to have this way of speaking in English, that was, I think they just didn't know how I could ever do it. So then I had to find another route, and then I discovered Complicité. I found this amazing devised company, Complicité. It was just so poetic, and it was collaborative. They were like making incredible images together, and it was so playful and alive and spontaneous. I was like, what is this? I want to do this. And then I looked them up, did a workshop with them, and they told me about the school that I ended up going to, which was Golia. So Anna Bullarden from Complicité said, like, Lecoq is now dead. If you want to learn technique, you could go there, but he's not teaching anymore. He's not alive anymore. But there is this Philippe Gaulier who is still alive, and if you want to find out what's unique about you that you can use, then you could go there. And I was like, oh, this sounds. And then I looked it up. No auditions. Oh my God, I'm going.
You're in. Honestly,
in. No auditions. Anyone can go. And then I just ended up going there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like going back to that time when you were in Gaulier, to your younger self, was there something that you thought that was the most important to you, like as an artist, and that maybe at this stage now in your life, it still remains important, or maybe you've learned to shed it and you were like, that actually doesn't matter, and being, I don't know, being funny, being connected with my audience is more important to me? Like, what is most important to you as an artist, and what did you think?
Yeah, I understand what you
know
mean.
what I mean?
Yeah, I think like I had an obsession with theater as a concept, and I think the reality of it wasn't like, I'd love going to see a show at a theater because I loved watching all the people there and the curtain there and the anticipation of the show about to start. But then once the show started, I normally like couldn't focus on the words because like my English also wasn't perfect. And then I got really bored, but then I convinced myself that I loved it. And I came out like, whoa, this is the best thing ever. And I think I'm letting go of just like the idea of maybe how theater or what it's supposed to be, and that I maybe that I love maybe not so much theater, but I love the dream of what it could be, and I'm trying to follow that little dream of mine every day, you know, like
Totally.
But the reality of it is maybe not exactly what I'm interested in, because I don't always go to the theater and have an amazing time. It's rare that I that I see stuff that I'm like super inspired by. I saw though the show that really inspired this show is Lullaby for Scavengers, is performance artist Kim Noble, who I ended up working with. That show like made me remember why I even got into it, because it really moved me, and it was really funny, and it was beautiful and like disturbing, and I was just like, I couldn't
This
stop
makes me feel
thinking about
something.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know this could be even like this. Like it was just, and then I definitely inspired, because I forgot why I even got into this. I was like, why do I do this, you know? And then I had all this energy to be creative again after seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you like doing this show, not knowing what's going to happen every night.
I really love
that would terrify me, honestly, if I'm being honest.
It's terrifying, but I love the exhilaration. Like, it makes me feel alive, and I weirdly just always crave intense experiences for myself. I'm not sure. I'm like this person who likes going on a roller coaster, and like, I need this more intense. Yeah.
I think to wrap it up, I'd love to know how you're finding DC, and specifically what performing this show at Woolly Mammoth is like.
It's been like an actual dream being at Woolly Mammoth. Like, I've never worked with a team of people who are just like when I got there, every single person at the theater like is working on the show and like cares. I've just never been in that situation before. Actually.
Where people care, or everyone's on deck, hands on deck for your show.
Yeah, and like they care. They seem to all like really care. They're like, it's like a baby. Like they're taking the baby, and they're just all like this family of people that first were strangers are just like, like working together. And I just haven't had that. You know, I've been like in and out of venues. Like, I guess I haven't, you know, it's a big learning curve for me doing this kind of theater. Like, I've done comedy clubs mainly where, like, you're in and out. Like, it's quick. It's like, and I'm carrying all my props. I'm carrying all my suitcases. And here, like, I have help. And it's just like,
oh, it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. And everyone is very, like, they want to make art happen. They're not going to say no. They're looking for solutions.
Yeah.
They're always solving my problems.
Yeah, that's great.
Can I give you this?
Yes, I would love it. Oh my God. This is so cute. Okay. Well, at your show, you foster a sense of community. You mentioned that you would be burning socks potentially in Malcolm X Park. What can you remind me what the date of that is? Because is that a serious invitation? Because I'll go.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be on the 5th of August.
The 5th of August.
At 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m., the 5th of August, we will be burning socks in Malcolm X Park with Julia. And join us. And make sure to go see the show, Ha 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 Ha, at Woolly Mammoth Theater. It's playing until August 4th. And where can people find you?
People can find me at Julia Masli
on Instagram,
everywhere. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.